Hello my viewers, welcome back to the channel. And by the video title, you know what this video is about. NFL Week 1 game review. The first week of the NFL season has been crazy, very crazy. As you guys know, I'm a Steelers fan, so you know, week 1 for us wasn't too good. It's only week 1 in the past for us. But a lot of good big time news and the big time things that happen week 1. And the obvious one we got to start the topic and start the show off with is, of course, the Aaron Rodgers injury. Man, I'm not a Jets fan, but I'm a fan of football. Like I mentioned on a little short video I did earlier, I'm a fan of football, so I wanted to see Aaron Rodgers go out there and the Jets fans finally getting that hope and that glimpse. They haven't won the championships in a long time since Joe Namath was there, and that was like in the 70s, I believe. So, or the 60s, 70s, it was a long time ago. But Aaron Rodgers looked resurged, looked re-energized, just looked extra motivated as well. And the team, you know, Breece Hall, you know, Dalvin Cook, all these different guys, Garrett Wilson, the Offensive Rookie of the Year last season. The defense is amazing. You got a first-team All-Pro and Sauce Gardner, his rookie season. Defensive Player of the Year for the rookies. Man, and to see Aaron Rodgers go down with the injury, I was hoping it was an ankle injury. I remember I stepped out the room real quick. I seen the sack happen. I stepped out the room, and I was like, they say Aaron Rodgers got injured. I said maybe he just twisted his ankle or something. Then I saw the replay. I was like, oh, that don't like the ankle twist, and you just see like the way his kind of like the back of his like calf and the back of it just like kind of just buckle out. He's like, oh, that don't look too good. And he was hoping that maybe it's just Achilles strain or something like that. But when you seen the boot on, you're like, man, it's probably something bad. And you see the news today, this morning, that Aaron Rodgers is out for the rest of the season. I don't know if it's Aaron Rodgers last year or not. No, because last year, remember, he said he went to the darkness. He said he went to the darkness retreat. He said he was 90% certain that he was going to retire. 90% certain he was going to retire. Now, after this big-time injury, Achilles injury, that's very hard to come back from because you lose kind of your explosiveness and all that type of stuff. We seen Kevin Durant a few years ago who had the Achilles injury, missed basically. He missed because he had in the finals. He missed that rest of that year. When the season started for the other year, he missed that year too, and then he came back the year after. So he didn't play almost 2 years. He didn't play. So he might be able to, because like you can recover from Achilles injury, maybe 8 to 9 months, but to get back to your right form, it might take a while, especially at Aaron Rodgers' age. He's 40 years old, I believe, or 39 or 40 years old. So he's a little older now, so it might be different upon his body. So I don't know if he's going to retire. I don't know if he'll come back, but man, the Jets fans just can't get a break. But the Jets win was big time though. The big time win. You see Xavier Gibson, the rookie, the undrafted rookie free agent, going out there and getting the punt return for a touchdown. A big time win on the road for the Jets. No, was the Jets on the road? No, the Jets was at home. Yeah, at home for the Jets, and that was big time. But the Jets also today they said they've been in contact and calling different quarterbacks, a lot of different quarterback names, and they said they've been calling veteran quarterback free agents and stuff, trying to bring a guy in because Zach Wilson. Of course they drafted him. He was the second pick in the draft, second or third pick in the draft. He was a top 5 pick, but he just haven't lived up to the standard. A lot of inaccurate passes, and the mentality he has on the field as well, it's just like haven't been right. And of course the Jets, and people say like I don't trust Zach Wilson. Well, the Jets didn't trust Zach Wilson either because they went out there and traded for Aaron Rodgers to bring him over here. And now Zach Wilson is a starter again. Zach Wilson has thrown, I think, more career interceptions than touchdowns, and he has a losing record as a starter. Of course, it's like Wilson has talent. We've seen the talent before, but it just hasn't like translated to the field or translated with the Jets on the field like that. So I don't know exactly where they're gonna go from this point. It's not the quarterbacks I've seen on some of the things I've seen in different reports and stuff. There's different guys, names and like naming from all types of range, from old veterans like that, and to young guys as well who are experienced. So one guy who I'm going to go ahead and scratch off is Tom Brady. I don't think Tom Brady coming back. Because Tom Brady is, 45, 46 years old. You would have to tell him like 4 or 5 months ago like that to commit then so he can get himself prepared and go through his regimen and get prepared to come back to play. I don't know if a short period of time like this type of window, and that'd be weird too. If the Patriots had a little Tom Brady homecoming and then he signed with the rivals a couple of days later. I don't think that's going to happen. The Brady one's out the equation. Another one too. The Matt Ryan one. Matt Ryan had a good career too, amazing career. I don't know if Matt Ryan go down in the Hall of Fame or probably not, but he's a very good quarterback, had a very good career, former MVP, former first team All-Pro, multiple time Pro Bowl player, been to the Super Bowl before. He didn't win the Super Bowl, but got to the Super Bowl before. Big time quarterback, the best quarterback in Falcons history. But he's a little older, and he took a lot of hits last year with the Colts. He went 4-4 with the Colts. He had those 4-game-winning drives as well, but he took a lot of hits last year with the Colts. I don't know where he'll be at physically to play like that. Could come back and be a veteran presence to help them go out there and win maybe 10 games or something like that. I don't know exactly what will happen, but I think Matt Ryan might be a little out the equation. Then they got Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz, of course, we know he was amazing before the ACL injury. ACL injury happened, and Carson Wentz after that has not been the same quarterback. We've seen him do a little bit here and there, but he just hasn't been the same. He didn't bring that same extra haven't been that same dynamic guy that we've seen with the Eagles early on. And with the Colts, he was with the year before last. He kind of messed them up at the end of the season for the playoffs. He could have threw a lot of interceptions. A lot of them was dropped. If you go back and watch some of those games, a lot of those interceptions was dropped. Because one game against the Raiders, he threw about 4 or 5 of them, but the Raiders just dropped them. So he could have had a lot worse numbers on his stats that year. And then he got brought into Washington. They traded for him to bring him there, and he got injured early on. Then they brought him to Taylor Heinicke was a starter. They should have kept Taylor Heinicke as the starter. They brought Carson Wentz back in, and Carson Wentz threw 3 picks, and they lose that game. They missed the playoffs, and now Carson Wentz is a free agent right now. So I don't know exactly what he'll bring to the table. Case Keenum, solid veteran. We've seen him lead the Vikings to the NC Championship game when everything was in place. Vikings had a good defense. Vikings had receivers. They had a rushing attack. The old line was solid as well, so they were able to do that. So maybe the same situation. Maybe a veteran quarterback like Case Keenum can come in and deliver and be good enough to help you win maybe 10 games, 9 games, 10 games, or like get lucky a few times and help get over that hump. I don't know. If you probably won't win a Super Bowl. You won't win a Super Bowl with Case Keenum, but maybe you can get a little resurgence and be more comfortable with the quarterback position with them. Another guy on the list is Taylor Heinicke. Taylor Heinicke now, I like his mentality. He might not have the strongest arm, might not be the most talented, but he plays very tough, and that accumulates to winning. So maybe a guy like that, he's the backup quarterback for the Falcons. Maybe you trade for a guy like that, bring him in, and put him out there on the field. And most time he's out there on the field, a lot of good things happen. Jacoby Brissett is a solid piece as well. Gardner Minshew, he went 6-6 with the Jaguars that one year before they drafted Trevor Lawrence, and that's the Jaguars. It was kind of bad that year. He went 6-6 that year, and Gardner Minshew was pretty solid and probably could be pretty good if he get an opportunity. Never really had a full opportunity. Of course, we've seen him play a few times with the Eagles last season and stuff, and then with the Colts he played at the end of the game. Because what's his name went down. Anthony Richardson went down, got hit with an injury. Or he kind of got banged up a little bit after taking that hit, got the wind knocked out of him. So you haven't really seen Gardner Minshew really get a full like to say, okay, you're our guy. We're doing a full offseason with you as the starter and this like that. So you haven't really seen him get that full resurgence. So maybe in a place like the Jets, he get there and can help them out. Tyler Huntley may be available as well. I don't know, the Ravens might want to keep him because Lamar Jackson has seemed to get injured at the end of the year, the past 2-3 years, so maybe they want to keep him around. But Tyler Huntley might not be bad. Cam Newton was on the list as well. Cam Newton, he had a good career as well. And former MVP, multiple-time Pro Bowler, maybe a Hall of Famer. I don't know exactly. I don't know if he'll be a Hall of Famer or not, but maybe a Hall of Famer. But Cam Newton, ever since that shoulder injury, has not been the same either. They have not been the same. Of course, I think he might be a little better than Zach Wilson, probably because his ability to run and his ability to, make things happen. Sometimes we saw a little bit of that with the Panthers. He came back there not last year, it was the season before last, I think. I think he scored a few touchdowns and he played a few games with the Panthers and it looked pretty solid out there, pretty good in certain situations. But I don't know exactly what it's going to lead to. Somebody said Colin Kaepernick agent was calling the Jets. I'm like, come on. Colin Kaepernick hasn't played since 2016. The likely chance of him coming back to bring any type of spark. He hadn't played football since in 2016. I was 15 years old. I'm 22 years old now. That's the last time Colin Kaepernick played football, and I don't see him coming back to make no crazy impact for the Jets. So I will draw that at the equation too as well. But leave down the conversation what you guys think. Who you think should be added to that list, or who you think the Jets should go after, or should they just ride with Zach Wilson and see what happens? But on the 49ers. Look pretty good too, or pretty good, I should say. They whooped on my Steelers, went out there and just had everything firing. And Brock Purdy, he just plays proper. He don't do anything too crazy. Just go through his reads, his progression, make the right throws, make the right reads, and when he have to, he can get out the pocket and he can make things happen with his legs a little bit too, because he's sneaky athletic and he always protects himself as well. And, he just played good. And the 49ers made the right decision in keeping this guy as their guy. I'm not really worried about the big-time losses to some of those teams like the Bengals getting blown out and the Steelers getting blown out and the Seahawks getting blown out. I expect those teams to be playoff teams. I think those teams can turn it around. They didn't look like the teams that we know they can be. The Bengals didn't look like the Bengals because unlike Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow are not going to play like that. T. Higgins and they aren't going to play like that for the entire season. The Steelers, Coach Tomlin not going to have his team playing like that entire season. The defense is not going to allow somebody to just go in there and just march on them like that and then play like that type of football the entire season. And the Seahawks not going to allow that either. Pete Carroll is not going to allow his team to do that. Geno Smith going to turn it on. I think those right there was just not I won't say fluky because the team went in there did what they're supposed to do. But I think that was like not going to be sustainable for the entire season. I think those teams are going to turn it around. I got those 3 teams making the playoffs this year as well. But I'm not too worried about those teams. But what I am not worried about, but what I did like was Patriots, Mac Jones looking pretty good out there. I know the Patriots don't have the best receiving core in the world. They let go Jacoby Myers. They should have kept him in the mix too. But Juju got there now. He was all right. He had like 55 receiving yards that game. And Kendrick Bourne and those guys. But Mac Jones threw 330 plus yards. So I think 300-something yards that game against the Eagles. Against the Eagles, they fell a little short at the end. But to see them go out there and to see like the offense actually let Mac Jones go out there and be able to make some throws and deliver some passes. He threw the ball 54 times, which was crazy. I didn't think he'd throw the ball that many times like that, but to go out there and see him still have some success and see the offensive coordinator kind of give Mac Jones a little more reins and let him go out there and make some things happen. Hopefully, they can put some more points up and stuff. But I like what I'm seeing from the Patriots. They still have a good defense, great defense and stuff, and they can go out there and get the receivers merged in together. They probably can make some magic happen. The Cowboys defense looked amazing, of course. You guys see what they did to the Giants. I picked the Cowboys to win, of course, because the Giants haven't beat the Cowboys. I think the last time the Giants beat the Cowboys was in 2021. But the last time the Giants beat the Cowboys with Dak was like 2016 or something. I think Dak Prescott has won the 10 straight or 11 straight matchups against the Giants. Yeah, Dak Prescott has won 11 straight against the Giants. And the Giants are 3-12 in the last 15 matchups. So yeah, it's not too likely. I think that game was when they lost was the one in 2016, which George Jenkins locked up Dez Bryant and made him fumble and stuff like that. I think it was that game. That low game was like 7-10. But the Giants haven't beat the Cowboys in years, and they haven't beat Dak Prescott in a long time. Like that. So yeah, so it's been a while. I think Dak has won 11 straight versus them. So of course we've seen that coming. And then plus the Cowboys defense is amazing, and the Giants O-line is a little shaky, still shaky, and the receiver core is a little shaky as well. And we already know the Cowboys is a great team. Good team, great team. It's just the playoffs. We know they're going to win 11 games, 12 games, 13 games. They go around there and they win a lot of games and they make the playoffs. It's just like, can they get over that hump of the second round in the playoffs? That's the question that always comes around, and see, can they answer it this year? Another thing, too, that I saw, too, was the Raiders. Not the Raiders. We'll get to the Raiders in a minute. The Falcons. The Falcons' rushing attack was amazing. They went out there and they won the first game, 24-10 against the Panthers. The Saints looked promising as well. Derek Carr with the big-time clutch play to take the lead. But Jimmy G and the Raiders. Man, I told you guys, I picked the Raiders to win that game against the Broncos on my game picks. I went 11-5 my game picks for the week 1. I picked Jimmy G and the Raiders to go out there to beat the Broncos because Jimmy G always win. No matter where you put him at, I told you the numbers would not be flashy. He would not have the crazy stats like that. He has some good numbers like that, but it wouldn't be flashy or anything dramatic or eye-popping. But it would still be good, and you'll find one play in the game that he'll make, a clutch throw or a clutch run or a clutch play that he'll make to help his team win. It's just the Jimmy G effect. Jimmy G is 41-17 as a starter. 41-17 as a starter. He has won 70% of his games as a starter. Wherever he go, he wins. When he was with the Patriots a little bit, when he was with the Niners a little bit, for a few years as well, and with the Raiders now. We've seen the first game as a Raider, he go out there and win. Everywhere Jimmy G goes, he win. We've seen what Jimmy G did the year before last when he got them to the NFC Championship. Even before he got injured last season, before before Brock Purdy came in. Jimmy G was leading them towards that as well. He was had them on a win streak. They had a great record. Instead of Jimmy Garoppolo's an amazing player. He might not have the eye-popping numbers, but I always look at him as a good quarterback because he go out there and he make the clutch play to win. You seen that big-time run he had against the Broncos, get the first down and seal the game away. Jimmy Garoppolo finds a way to win. 41-17 as a starter and counting. So he just keep adding on and stacking on wins, and the Raiders should be something to be, I wouldn't say fear fully, but they have a lot of talent. A lot of talent. Jacoby Myers, of course, Devontae Adams, of course, he's a very amazing. Of course, then you got Hunter Renfrow. He didn't get targeted last game. Hopefully that changed. But they got a lot of talent. And the defense has its moments here and there, too. We'll see how they look fully as the season goes on. But the first week of the NFL has been pretty good. Very good. We've seen a lot of things happen. We've seen a lot of players, a lot of teams stepping up and changing the things around. We've seen a lot of hungry coaches, hungry players, hungry organizations to go out there and try to win. And it's very competitive this season. The last season was very competitive too. It's even more competitive this season, and you just love it as a football fan. But that's all I got for this video today, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time on the channel. Peace out.